good.
Looks like we're about to do the weather. So there's a cold front coming in.
Hi guys, I'm down at the TaylorMade headquarters today with the Managing Director of Europe for TaylorMade, David Silvers. Thank you very much for taking the time to answer some of my questions today and some of the questions you guys have asked. So, should we just jump straight in?
Yeah, go for it, yeah.
A lot of people have been asking what drivers will be coming out next year and what you will call them. I'm sure you don't realise they won't be able to tell me that information, but what can you tell me about the drivers and fairway woods that might be coming out next year or we might be seeing from TaylorMade in the future?
Okay. I actually saw them for the first time very recently, which was very exciting. We have a meeting in our headquarters in Carlsbad, and I get to see them for the first time, which was pretty cool. You're right, I can't tell you what they're going to be called, and I can't tell you what the main technology is. What you should know about our business really is we're basically a bunch of mad keen golfers mixed in with a few rocket scientists and extremely clever engineers. Golfers and engineers come together and create some incredible product every year, and yeah, we've got some cool stuff coming next year. We're producing product that is going to be better than what we've got out there right now. That's what we do. We wake up every day trying to make things better.
In TaylorMade advertising the last few years, you have claimed to have reached the legal limit for ball speed off a driver face, which is allowed by the governing bodies right now, whilst increasing forgiveness and adjustability. If this is true, then how can you make any improvements to your drivers moving forward?
Well, obviously the face is only one part of the club, and yeah, you're right. You know, through speed injection, we've nailed that now. But there are a lot of other elements to the club, and I've been doing this job for 6 years, and TaylorMade, it's our 40th anniversary this year. So TaylorMade have been innovating ever since the first ever metal wood 40 years ago. And I'm sure whoever was doing my job then, 39 years ago, thought, well, how are you going to improve on that? And every single time we seem to do it, because there is more than one element to the club. Like I say, I saw some stuff last week where you just go, I can't believe we've done this again. You know, we've moved on to other parts of the club now to try and improve that performance, and we will. You know, the regulations have been there for a long time, but we've managed to, as I say, these rocket scientists have found ways of doing it.
Do you think it will be possible for you to ever create the perfect driver?
That's a really tough question, because yeah, it feels like, you know, we move things on every year. I guess that does depend on whether there are any changes to the rules. But yeah, I mean, certainly we tour validate everything with the very best players in the world, and we've got people who are relentlessly looking at every part of the golf club. So I don't think our designers would ever say they could reach perfection, because in a paradoxical way, they are perfectionists, and they're going to try and find something, even if they thought last year's was the best.
Obviously, we've touched on how they are perfectionists and they're striving for that perfection. Golf is a game of small margins, and you're saying you're refining the technology to make it better and better with small adjustments and tweaks and get the most out of the clubs. If this is true, then how can you justify such a huge price increase every year for the clubs when you are only making small improvements, which might not necessarily be noticeable to a lot of golfers because there is some user error in there? They might not be striking it out the middle of the face every single time.
Yeah, true. I mean, I suppose that last point is, yeah, user error actually gives us opportunity, because it's not just about how the product performs out the middle of the club, which is where the forgiveness element comes in, and that is certainly an area of big focus, because yeah, I mean, people hit it all over the face, and we've actually got literally data from thousands, if not millions, of shots recorded around the world, which 20 years ago we didn't have that data to design golf clubs with. Now we do, through all these different launch monitors and all the experiential days that we do. So that point is a good one, is actually we do think we can give significant gains still to amateur golfers. It's actually harder to get more gains for Rory McIlroy, because he's hitting more perfect shots.
Of course, yeah.
It's easier in a way to design stuff for amateurs. We do think we can still get big gains for people, and that's where custom fit comes in as well. You know, we absolutely recognise that, you know, if you're not custom fit, then a lot of the great work that we do in R&D could be negated because you're just not using the right product. So it's definitely a combination of technology, custom fit, and good advice, and also then it comes down to how they swing the club. So going back to what you said about prices, the prices of our products are only really going up at the same rate as the cost to us. And you know, some of our very recent product is performing spectacularly well and looks incredible, but that does come at a cost. You know, P790 iron, as an example, which has been incredibly successful for us, is a very, very expensive product to produce. The finishing process, you know, we have to inject it with speed foam, all these different things cost a lot of money. But, you know, what we are seeing is that people see value in premium product, because we've, you know, thankfully a lot of consumers out there have loved the P790.
Do you feel like the golf club market will start to stagnate because of current rules and regulations, maybe not allowing for as much innovation as TaylorMade and other brands would be able to put into their products, but are currently limited?
No, I don't, just because those rules have been there forever. You know, there's been COR rules, as you know, I know the rules change slightly across the years, but the rules have been there a long time, and we do find performance gains. And as I say, there are more variables than just the COR on the face. There's lots of variables. You know, the combination of the head, the grip, and the shaft all coming together, plus lots of variables on the head itself. So, you know, materials, shapes, lots of things that can be done.
Which are also probably all slightly subjective for different people. Certain people want to see a slightly different shape driver to others, and no one needs one product for kind of the mass market, I'm guessing.
Yeah, I mean, you're dead right. I mean, we've got to always find the balance between form and function, and you know, some things never get past the drawing board that might deliver a particular performance, but then just don't look right. It's an absolute art form, to be honest. Again, going back to 790, we call it, you know, the beauty and the beast, because it is a beauty and it is a beast, and that's very difficult to do in one product.
Where do you feel the future of golf club technology is headed?
You're going to ask someone more clever than me, because as I say, I get very excited every year when I see. So if you're asking a product guy, ask them.
Okay.
But yeah, because I'm amazed every year at what we do.
What is your favourite TaylorMade golf club that is currently on the market?
Well, I've obviously got 14 of them in the bag. I have to say, because my short game is pretty ropey, the high toe wedge for me has been a bit of a game changer, because I just feel like I can open it up and swing with a lot more confidence. I've got an M6 driver in the bag, which I'm very pleased with, and I've got a rocket of an M6 3-wood, which practically goes as far as my driver. So I've got a few gapping issues at the top end, but yeah, the long club's fantastic, and yeah, I really like opening up the high toe wedge.
Do you play the TaylorMade TP5 or TP5X?
5X.
Why is that?
Good question, because when I was fitted for my driver, that's what the experiential guy recommended, and I would rather listen to the experts than figure it out for myself.
Absolutely. What is the favourite golf course you've ever played?
So I was lucky enough to play Pebble Beach a couple of years ago, which went straight in as my number one.
Yeah.
Just incredible. Yeah. Amazing views, amazing experience, and just to think that someone 100 years ago had the foresight to, you know, create a golf course on the cliffs was pretty cool. So yeah, that's the number one.
Who is the most impressive tour player you have watched in person?
Wow. Ever, Seve Ballesteros, without question.
Why was that?
He just did the ball striking, the natural way that he swings the golf club, and there's the sound. I mean, that was a long time ago. I'm talking. You know, it was probably in the mid '80s, the first time I ever saw him hit a golf ball. I remember watching him play with Tony Jacklin in York at the Benson and Hedges, and I was 14 years old. And Jacklin hit a 7-iron from about 150 yards to about 2 feet short of the pin. And Seve was also 150 yards out, and he asked Jacklin to go and mark the ball. He asked a 2-time major winner to go and mark the ball from 150 yards. He went and marked the ball, and sure enough, I'm pretty sure Seve's ball would have hit his when he hit it in. So he was then instantly my hero. So definitely Seve of all time. I would say modern times, Rory.
Yeah.
Rory's just, whenever our tour guys go on the range, and I go with, occasionally go with them, you just kind of look at him and go, it just looks different, sounds different. It's just really impressive.
What is the best part of your job?
The best part is the variety. Obviously, I'm a golfer. I've been playing golf since I was 9 years old. So golf, just being in golf all my working life has been an absolute privilege. But the variety is the best thing.
Obviously, slow play is being talked about a lot at the moment by some of your players as well, Rory included. How do you feel is the best way this should be addressed in the game of golf?
I think at the very top level, I think they do need to consider more strict penalties on the players. You know, I've seen some clips of Trevino hitting amazing shots, and it's taken him like 12 seconds or something to hit the shot. And if you look at the European Tour event from a couple of years ago, I think when they put them all on the clock, and they in Denmark, I think it was, or somewhere, and they gave them, I can't remember what it was, 40 seconds to every shot, and I think they averaged 20 seconds, and they went round in at least half an hour quicker, and the scores were just as good as the prior year. So they can do it. So I think at that level we've got to lead from the top, and then just generally I think ready golf. I think some of the new rules are pretty good, but I think ready golf is perfect. I don't think we need to mess around waiting, and just get ready to hit your shot while the other guy's hitting the shot.
Do you feel like slow play is becoming an issue because of technological advances in the game? We know more about certain variables, certain conditions, and players are just trying to make these adjustments?
No, I wouldn't say, no, I don't think so. I think at the very top level, I think there's so much money in the game, and they're all so good. They're all trying to find an edge. And if that edge means they've got to read a green book for a little bit longer, or they've got to check out way more variables than they used to, then I can see why they're doing it if they're not going to get penalised for it. So I can see that. I think at the amateur game, in the amateur game, I think technology arguably speeds golf up.
Do you feel golf balls need to be limited or reduced on how far they can go because of issues golf courses around the world are now facing, because of how far people can hit the ball and trying to expand holes and make them more difficult?
No, I don't. I think the game has just changed a little bit. It evolves with the times. I mean, I can guarantee you, when you go to the range at a tournament, people want to go and watch guys who hit it a long way. So, people want to see DJ and Rory smash it out there. And then at the amateur level, I mean, when was the last time anyone said to you, golf's too easy, so can we make it a bit harder? I mean, it's just never happened, does it?
I 100% agree. Do you feel like golf as a sport needs to be made more affordable, from equipment to also cost of joining a club nowadays?
I think market forces are probably prevailing a little bit when it comes to memberships and things. You can get quite a lot of flexible memberships now, points style memberships, where you don't have to pay £1,000 a year and as a fixed cost. If you play 12 times a year, it might cost you 400 quid. If you play 50 times a year, it might cost you 1,000 quid. But either way, you're a member and you've got a handicap and you can play in tournaments. I think that's a great move. And then from an equipment point of view, there's a strong second-hand market out there. There's some good products at entry level. There should be ways in which we can make it affordable for everybody.
Will TaylorMade offer more customizable clubs like you've done with the Spider putters? Obviously, you can go online, you can all change the colours, customize them to your preferences. Will you be offering that for other products?
I think if it's what golfers want, then yeah, I think we will. We've launched a personalised wedge as well now, alongside my Spiders. So if that's what consumers want, ultimately, yes, it costs a little bit more money because you're doing it for an individual order. But if that's what they want, then yeah, we'll definitely look at that.
What is your favourite snack to eat on the golf course?
Good question. Probably a Snickers, actually.
What is your most memorable moment working for TaylorMade?
Gate crashing Sergio Garcia's Masters winning party at midnight in his house, and walking into the kitchen and seeing him cutting up some meat in his Masters jacket, with Luis Figo also in the kitchen, and managing to sneak 4 of my customers into the party was pretty cool.
Amazing. Thank you very much for taking the time to answer these questions.
No problem.
You've been an absolute gentleman.
No worries.
I hope you guys have enjoyed the answers.